welcome back to another video. Today I Sean register number Iwaki 20CS2018L. I'm going to explain to you experiment number 2 of TAA lab. Today we'll be doing job scheduling with deadlines. So our aim is to create job scheduling algorithm using greedy algorithm, and the algorithm given here is that we'll be initializing max deadline variable which contains the maximum of all the deadlines of all the jobs that we give as input. And before that we consider a list jobs which contains objects of the type job with a job ID, profit and deadline arranged in the descending order of profit. So we start with the highest profit and we go down to the least profit. That's how we arrange it. And then we create a count n and we take the number of jobs to be sequenced from the user. We run the loop from range 0 to n and take input user input such as job ID, profit and then deadlines for each of the jobs to be sequenced from the user, and update the max deadline variable according to the maximum deadline of each job object's deadline entry. And then we have we sort the job objects based on the descending order of profits, like I said before. And then we create a list called as job scheduling with size of deadline, because only how many max deadline days are there and that many jobs we can schedule. So we create it of size max deadline. We initialize all of them with none, and then we run a for loop for n jobs list and include a nested for loop j in range of we initialize it with I dot deadline. So for each job I in the range of jobs, we'll be initializing the first loop, the second loop with j in the range of I dot deadline, and then we'll be decrementing it in steps of -1 till it reaches -1. And in that we include step 7, that is if job scheduling is not initialized, that is job scheduling of j if it is equal to none. In that case we will be assigning the ith job id to it, and we will be increasing the max profit variable by the profit of the job. That is, we'll be assigning that job to that day of the deadline, and then we'll be breaking the loop, and then we'll be finally printing the job schedule and max profits as the output. So here is the program. First we have a class called job, and in that we have initialized it with each job object will have attributes such as id, profit and deadline, which will be passing to it. And then we have a lesser than function over here, operator overriding. Here as you can see, it will be comparing the profit of the job objects when we pass two job objects and we put a lesser than symbol. This is what is done. And here we take n jobs to be scheduled from the user. We make a jobs list of size n with initialized with none, and then we have max deadline variable initialized with 0. Then we have a for loop, and using this for loop of range n, we'll be taking in the job inputs from the user for each of the job objects in range n. Job of I will be initialized with job ID and job profit and job deadline. It will go to this function and it will be creating job objects. Then we along with that, in each iteration we will be updating the max deadline. If it is already a higher deadline than the job deadline, then in that case it will remain the same. Otherwise, if there's a job with a higher deadline, then max deadline gets incremented to that new deadline. And then we sort the jobs based on reverse is equal to true, that is in descending order. We will be sorting the jobs based on profit, and then jobs scheduling is equal to none. Like we'll be creating a job scheduling list and we'll be initializing it with the max of deadline. So based on the maximum deadline, every day we can only do one job, so we already initialize it with that many entries. And then there's a max profit variable initialized with 0, and then in this nested for loop for I in the jobs, for j in the range of I dot deadline, that is for each of the job in the jobs, that is the deadline -1 we'll start with, and then we'll take it till -1, and that is, it will stop at 0 actually. So it will start with the highest deadline. We'll be assigning a job accordingly. If the job of j is scheduled to none, in that case we'll be assigning the highest profitable job. The job ID, that is the first job, will be assigned there, and job ID is put into the job scheduling list, and max profit I is added. And then it will be decremented by 1. It will move to the next deadline day, which is the second lowest deadline date, and we will be assigning the second most profitable job there, and which can be done on that deadline, and so on. And we will be adding its profit too, and so on, and we will be breaking it, and we will be again running like once we have assigned a job to a certain deadline, we break this second for loop, we go back to the next job, and so on. And then lastly we print the job sequence of job scheduling, and then max profit. So we print the max profit variable. So let's run this program. So let's do it for 5 jobs. So for the first job, the job ID is 1, and then take job profit as 15, and let's take deadline to be 3. Then job ID for second job is 2, and then let's take 45 as the profit and deadline 2. Let's take job number 3 as job ID 3, profit let's say 10, and let's put the deadline as 2 again. And then the fourth job, let's say we have, let's put job ID 4, profit 18, and let's put deadline to be 4. And last job, let's put job ID 5, profit 22, and deadline let's put it as 1. So now the code is run, and as you can 5, 2, 1 and 4 is scheduled as. So as you can see, the fifth job is to be done on the first day, and the profit is 22. So it starts with 4. So fourth job, the profit is 18 and deadline is 4. So this is the only job that can be done on day 4. It is assigned here. Then on the third day, which all jobs can be done? Only this one. So the first job is assigned to the third day. Then there is a competition between job 2 and job 3 for which will be done. So job 2 is done because of a higher profit, since it's arranged in order of increasing profits. And then finally job 5 is assigned to day 1 because this one has a higher profit than job 3. So the result is the job scheduling with deadlines problem has been solved using greedy method, and the desired optimum output has been obtained. So thank you guys for watching. If you did like it, do hit the like button and do subscribe to the channel for more such videos. Hope to see you guys in the next video.